In 2025, Captain America Brave New World cost over $200 million to produce. It underperformed. Snow White flopped. Fantastic Four disappointed. It was a fiscal bloodbath for the traditional blockbuster model. Yet, in that same window, a single creator spent a fraction of a studio's catering budget and averaged 43 million views per video. Amazon eventually ended in $100 million. By early 2026, the trend solidified. Markiplier bypassed the studio system entirely, took a $3 million horror film straight to theaters, and opened at number 2, grossing $26.8 million worldwide. YouTube now captures 13.1% of total TV viewing time in the United States. Netflix, the supposed distributor of the last decade, sits at 8.7%. The platform, once dismissed as a repository for vlogs, now commands more screen time than the corporation that spent $17 billion on content in a single year. The numbers no longer suggest a rivalry. They reveal a replacement. Something fundamental just shifted. For a century, Hollywood operated on a model of forced scarcity. If you wanted high-fidelity entertainment, you had to go through a gatekeeper. Studios controlled the 3 pillars of industry: production, distribution, and marketing. The logic was simple. Spend $200 million to create a spectacle that was physically impossible to replicate at home. Then spend another $100 million on billboards and Super Bowl ads to buy the public's attention. It was a top-down system where studios told the audience what a star looked like. But this system is structurally broken. The logic was simple. Spend $200 million to create a spectacle that was physically impossible to replicate at home. To break even, a film now needs to gross roughly $600 million globally. This financial pressure forces creative cowardice. Every script is sanded down by committees to ensure it doesn't offend any demographic or mid-tier international market. The result is a surplus of safe content that feels increasingly expensive, yet spiritually cheap. Hollywood is currently paying more and more to reach an audience that is actively looking elsewhere. Enter the new player, the creator-entrepreneur. In March 2024, Amazon announced Beast Games. They didn't hire a veteran showrunner from network TV. They hired Jimmy Donaldson, known as MrBeast.
This is a real prison, and me and the boys are gonna try to survive the next 50 hours locked up here.
I am going to spend the next 50 hours alone in solitary confinement.
I am going to spend the next 24 hours in this house made 100% of ice. I'm gonna spend the next 50 hours buried alive in this coffin.
With 380 million subscribers, Donaldson's content racked up 3.2 billion minutes watched in a single month, a figure that rivals entire streaming platforms. Amazon didn't pay for his personality, they paid for his infrastructure. MrBeast operates on a cycle Hollywood physically cannot replicate: weekly iterations and real-time algorithmic feedback. While a studio spends 3 years in development hell for one film, a creator has tested 50 concepts, analyzed the retention heat maps, and pivoted 5 times. Then there is Markiplier's Iron Lung. Budgeted at under $3 million, it saw a 9 times return on investment. Compare that to the standard indie film with a $5 million budget, which rarely clears $10 million total. Iron Lung made $18.2 million in its opening weekend alone. It started on just 60 screens. There was no traditional marketing machine, no studio-backed PR firm. It scaled to 4,164 screens through pure fan momentum. The creator stigma, the idea that YouTubers aren't real filmmakers, evaporated the moment $3.5 million in Thursday previews recouped the entire production budget before the sun even rose on Friday. This isn't a trend, it's a permanent realignment of how power functions in entertainment. The structural advantage of the creator is the cost of customer acquisition. Hollywood has to buy its audience for every single release. They start at zero every Friday morning. MrBeast and Markiplier own their audience. They have a direct, permissionless line to millions of people who have already opted into their ecosystem. The platforms themselves reinforce this. YouTube's algorithm rewards engagement and repeat views. It is a meritocracy of attention. Hollywood system rewards risk mitigation. When a $200 million budget is on the line, you cannot afford to be interesting. You can only afford to be recognizable. That is why we're on the 10th version of the same franchise, while creators are inventing entirely new genres of horror and competition every month. Furthermore, the barriers to entry have collapsed. YouTube has paid out $70 billion to creators over the last 3 years. That is more than the market cap of many mid-sized film studios. The tools of production are now democratized and the monopoly of distribution is dead. If you have the attention, the money will find you. For 100 years, studios believed they created stars. They were wrong. Audiences create stars. The studios just used to own the only stage. Now the stage is everywhere, and the owners of the old theaters are realizing too late that the audience has already left the building. The media war is over. The creators won. What they build with that victory is an entirely different story. That's part 2, dropping next week. We'll look at why the next battle isn't over streaming rights, but over physical territory, as creators take on the final boss of the old guard, the theme park. And speaking of theatrical business models getting disrupted, while creators are proving that they can bypass studios and go straight to theaters, the theaters themselves had to completely reinvent how they make money. Admissions dropped 43%, but chains like AMC and Cinemark are more profitable now than before COVID. How? They stopped selling movies and started selling something else entirely. I broke down the entire economics. Check that video on your screen because it's the perfect parallel to what's happening with creators. When the old model breaks, smart operators find the new one.